Welcome everyone. I'm very happy to be with you all this evening. I'm Sarani Anisoara Cismasu. I'm a personal development counselor, Gene Keys guide and ambassador, and systemic and phenomenology constellation facilitator. We are here today together to talk about femininity and its manifestations in us, the woman of today, and especially to talk about Yoni Constellations. And I will share with you a few words about the article, from the article Sacred Feminine, Sacred Masculine, from Irmgard Rosa Maria Rauscher blog. The true feminine brings a deep wisdom rooted in trust, in intuition, heart, and cyclical nature. It is passionate, creative, and life-giving force. The sacred feminine is dedicated to the heartfelt nurturing and care of all creation and transmission of tradition from one generation to the next. It is my great pleasure, enthusiasm, and honor to introduce you Irmgard Rosa Maria Rauscher.
Thank you, Anisoara. It is so nice that we do this interview and this webinar together. And I'm looking forward to it, to share my work with Yoni Constellation to all the participants tonight. And yeah, it is an honor and for me also to be here and do this together with you.
Irmgard, you've been working with Yoni Constellations for about 5 years now, but you have been a facilitator for 28 years and you have studied with Bert Hellinger himself. Could you tell us why you developed the Yoni Constellations?
First of all, I want to explain to you what Yoni means. So Yoni is a word from Sanskrit and means holy place or divine source. The term Yoni includes all the female sexual organs, the vulva, the vagina, the uterus, and the ovaries. And as a psychotherapist, I have made the experience that many women do not have a loving relationship to their wonderful bodies and their divine yoni. When a woman looks at her yoni, touch it, play with it, then she often feels shame, disgust, or guilt as instead of pride and respect and dignity. Down there is still a big taboo zone for many women, regardless of their age. Because this is very sad and obviously needs a lot of healing, I have made it to my mission to create a way for women to get in contact with their yoni. Because connected with her yoni, a woman celebrates her beauty and she gets the blissful essence of a goddess. And I was 10 years, I have made Tantra studies. And in this tantric atmosphere, there were celebrated the feminine and celebrated the masculine, of course, but also celebrated the yoni. And I felt so well in this tantric field. that I was thinking, how could I bring this knowledge, yeah, together with my work, combine it with my work as a facilitator. And so I started with my own yoni in self-experiments. I started to set my yoni up, and I was very surprised each time I did this, what my yoni had to tell me. And then I realized that could be important for many women to increase their feminine power and self-esteem.
I feel your words in my heart. My body is responding while you are talking. Such wonderful mission to bring women into contact with their goddess essence. Throughout your life, you have encountered many wounded women. Most of these wounds can be traced back to patriarchal structures. For millennia, men have been in control, and to this day, in many countries around the world, women must subordinate themselves to men. They are particularly vulnerable to men in matters of sexuality.
Mm. Yes, the yoni can store a significant amount of stressful information and unresolved trauma. Many thousand years of patriarchy, oppression, and devaluation of the feminine, yeah, of feminine values, um, leave their marks on the sensitive womb space. Negative experience of our ancestors are passed on via an epigenetic level and shape us whether we know it or not. A woman should be the expert of her yoni. When a woman knows what her yoni wants, she can openly and confidently talk about it. That's this stimulates definitely the relationship and also boosts her self-confidence at the same way. When a woman feels safe with her partner, she can allow real intimacy. She can talk about her wishes and desires and, which is very important, define her limits.
So I believe we all agree that women suffered of suppression and sexual abuse for thousands of years. Your wish is to heal woman's yoni and feminine sexuality, so we are more strong and self-confident. Please let us know, how does a yoni constellation differ from a family constellation?
A Yoni constellation goes beyond a classic family constellation. I work with special positions. Besides ancestors, of course. On the one hand side, the yoni is set up and a message of the yoni. And if there is a symptom like a physical symptom or mental symptom or a wish for a baby or sexual blockage, all these issues get its own positions. And also, in additional, the messages of it. Each symptom has a message. And we should understand that a problem or a symptom always is friendly to us. Other positions can be sacred feminine, archetypes, an archangel, guardian angel, power animal, but also personal resources. At the end of Yoni Constellation, I create a so-called support team in the final phase of a constellation. This is put together individual for each woman. And that can include the inner wise woman, or the inner shamanic, or an archetype, or beloved grandmother, or beloved aunt, power animal, and so on. At the end of a Yoni constellation, I often play a favorite song of the client to get the solution even deeper on the body level and have the body cells vibrated too. The background is always unresolved trauma. Yeah. So if a grandmother has died in childbirth, grief, shock, and despair not only remains with the woman, with the person affected, it remains in the whole system and has a deep impact on other generations.
And how do you determine when the original trauma causing the current symptoms occurred?
To find out where the original trauma lies, I use a method my husband, Dr. Karl-Heinz Rauscher, has developed. This is the so-called four-column test. I use it to test a trauma in the family of origin, father's or mother's side, sometimes also both sides, a personal trauma in this life, a trauma in the present family, or a personal trauma in a former life. If a trauma, unresolved trauma in this life or in the former life is the case, so it can be that a part of the soul can become trapped in the trauma freeze. And the solution here is a conscious acceptance and integration of this lost part of the soul.
Wow, I'm listening and all my body is listening. Does it always have to be a trauma that blocks the yoni and impairs eroticism and sexuality and creates symptoms?
In my experience, it's mostly unresolved trauma. However, it is not always a single trauma event. For an example, if you grow up in a family where hostility towards women or female values, emotional and sexual abuse, addiction, bigotry, aggression, violence, or emotional coldness are common. So this is stressful information, and all these influences can damage and ensure the sensitive womb area.
How does a Yoni constellation seminar work?
Mm.
Does someone have to take their clothes off?
No, this is sometimes is this the question. No, in a Yoni constellation workshop, we all remain dressed. Maybe we take clothes off because we dance so wild that we are sweating, but it is just a sweater or a t-shirt. We all sit in a circle on meditation cushions on the floor. And there is a so-called altar with flowers and candles. and power objects and books and goddess cards, incense plants, feathers, and also brochures about anatomical characteristics of the 9 different yoni types. And all this can be used during the breaks. In addition to the Yoni constellations, there is music and dance. There is lectures, sharings, guided inner journeys, meditations. There is, of course, lots of humor and female magic. Drinks and healthy snacks are available during the breaks, as same as the opportunity for retreat or exchange. At the end of a Yoni constellation workshop, so let's say Sunday afternoon, around 5 p.m., there is the women feel a strong sisterhood and a loving solidarity. And this is always wonderful to experience.
I'm so looking forward to have this experience with you.
Thank you.
What issues do women usually come to you with?
There are different issues like lack of blossoming, for instance, or lack of self-esteem, or lack of desire to have sex, or lack of success in professional life, sexual frustration, a physical or a psychological symptom or problem, emotional and sexual abuse, lost children, like such as miscarriages or abortions, unfulfilled wish for a baby, a wish for a partner. What else? Problems in the couple relationship, and so on. Many more.
So during this time, working with Yoni Constellation and woman, what kind of changes, what kind of transformation did you notice in their life? Can you share something with us about this?
Yes, I have, often women tell me that they are more connected with their self, with their inner core. They feel more relaxed in her womanhood. They feel themselves attractive and they trust more their intuition. What else? They are aware of their dignity and knowing and recognizing the divine dimension within us makes all the difference. Makes all the difference. The legacy of the goddess works within us, in every woman. So these are the feedbacks of women I worked with and I had in the different workshops.
Thank you so much. Your words are going directly in my heart. My heart is responding to them. I feel honored to have this interview with you today and stay here in your energy field and listen to your wisdom. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Anisoara, that you do this interview with me, and for this space I can demonstrate and talk about my work. Yeah, I also feel very honored, and I look forward to our workshop in Bucharest. It is the first workshop in person, so in English, in Romania, and this is a very special honor for me.
Yes, and it will be in a very special time at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
So I am looking forward to it, and I'm sure many other women are looking forward to it. We are waiting for you, and we are grateful for your work.
Thank you. I would do a constellation about it, and the fibroma would get a voice and feelings. So the symptom can tell us where the original trauma lies and the energetic cause of this problem. You can set up this original trauma, and maybe we find there in the trauma freeze a lost part of the soul, and this lost part of your soul you can integrate during a constellation. I set up the trauma, the original trauma, and then I test if there is a lost part of the soul in a different position. And you can see this, yeah? When a lost part, when the part of the soul still trapped in the trauma freeze, you see this because trauma and part of the soul are really melting together. And this part of the soul can, with my I do also shamanic healing, yeah, I make healing sounds, and with my harmonica and also with my voice, and then I can lose these. The healers can lose this part of the soul connected with the trauma. I can lose it. The trauma goes down, is more low, and during the healing I can take this lost part of the soul and guide this to the client, and the client can welcome this part of the soul in a ritual, and these I put, yeah, in a way I put the lost part of the soul, I put it in the hands, and the hands like a bowl, and I put this part of the soul there, and the client can integrate it and melt with this part of the soul, and welcome it. Yes. It is good to wear the color red, like myself, but also underwear, to have your yoni, yeah. The red color is good for the yoni, and you care for your yoni. You look at it, and you make yourself familiar with the yoni, and you care for it. So maybe with some special oil, for instance, and you discover your yoni, and the yoni will respond. And wherever you are, your inner feelings, you let the yoni be there. While you dance with your yoni, or you touch it, or you look at it, to get familiar with the yoni. Especially when women come more often to workshops and have and experience this sisterhood, this strong sisterhood, and this solidarity, they get more, the women get more self-confidence, more power. They in professional life, they go to their boss and ask for more money, things like this. So it is more, the women are more connected with themselves. And when they look in the mirror, they smile. This is what the yoni brings us, because we are the ones with this special place in us, within us. And we need to respect ourselves, and we need to honor ourselves. And we are not satisfied anymore with bad jobs or bad relationships. Yeah? No. Yes, this is not always like this, but it is often in a personal trauma in this life, and it is often a personal trauma in the previous life. A constellation shows what the issue is. If the issue is masturbation, then it has to have a question about it. So sex with yourself is always healthy if this is the question. And if there is a blockage to have sex with yourself, so you look, with a constellation, you look where the blockage comes from. Usually I start with 3 positions, and this is the client, and the yoni, and the message of the yoni.
Are the yoni and its message 2 different figures?
Yes.
Or is the yoni who speaks?
Because sometimes the yoni is traumatized and blocked and cannot feel so differently and so much. And because of this, I have the position added as message. And the position of the message can collect different informations in the yoni. Because the yoni is sometimes numb and blocked. and the message is more free.
So they are two different figures.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The woman has to work with herself and not wait for the partner. So she has to be the expert of herself and of her yoni and of her desires and wishes, and if she knows, if she knows about her yoni and gets familiar with her yoni, then she can invite a man.
Thank you so much for your generosity of love and wisdom, and for your beautiful presence here with us this evening.
Thank you, dear Anisoara. I hope you did understand my English and my translation, and I hope to see you somewhere, sometimes, and maybe in Bucharest.